You think a tree with golden roots brings wealth. But what if I told you the very fruits you forget to touch each morning might be blocking your flow of money? There are homes filled with glowing kumquats, and yet prosperity never truly enters. Imagine this. It's early morning. You pick up a soft cloth and gently wipe each golden coin. Then you whisper, "I welcome ease. I open the current of wealth." Just like that, the energy begins to shift. There's a tree whose fruit looks like golden coins. In some homes, it's just decoration, a festive symbol, a pretty plant. But in the right homes, this tree becomes a portal, a ritual, a living energy field that breathes ease into your finances and calls wealth back to your doorstep. This isn't about luck or superstition. It's about how energy responds to your presence. Today, we're going to explore how a single tree, when touched the right way, can unlock a flow you've been waiting for. Before we begin, take a breath with me. Not the kind that rushes through your chest, but the kind that settles. Because what we're about to uncover isn't just about where you place a tree. It's about how your energy meets it, how your presence awakens wealth. So stay with me till the end. I'll guide you through a gentle ritual, one that invites money to return, not through force, but through flow. And once you feel it, you'll never walk past your kumquat tree the same way again. There's a woman in San Diego. Every winter, she brings out her kumquat tree, round fruits gleaming like coins, carefully placed in the wealth corner of her living room. Guests always compliment it, but every year, she says the same thing. "I don't know why, but around this time, money feels tight, like something's stuck." Most people think, as long as I put a wealth plant in the right place, I've done my part. But feng shui doesn't just listen to placement. It listens to energy. A kumquat tree with untouched fruit becomes symbolic clutter. Beauty without interaction. Qi without breath. In classical feng shui, fruit-bearing trees symbolize active abundance. But for that abundance to flow, the fruit must be seen, touched, and honored. Why? Because the fruit represents stored wealth. And when that stored wealth is ignored, it becomes stagnant. Like money in a forgotten bank account, technically yours, but never arriving in your hands. And modern energy research supports this. Studies in environmental psychology and biophotonics have shown objects that receive regular, intentional touch-like plants, water vessels, or ritual items begin to resonate differently. Their molecular field becomes more coherent. In simple terms, what you touch with presence starts to glow differently, and what you ignore, even if beautiful, becomes invisible to the flow of qi. Do you have a kumquat tree at home? Do you touch the fruit? Or has it become part of the background, visually bright, energetically silent? What other parts of your space are holding wealth, but being ignored? In the next section, we'll explore why touching the fruit even briefly can reawaken the stagnant qi of your wealth corner, and how this simple act becomes a morning ritual of abundance. Imagine a beautiful kumquat tree, its fruits glowing under morning light, perfect, golden, untouched. But no one ever picks one. No one wipes the dust. No one whispers to them. It looks alive, but the energy inside is asleep. Most people think, as long as light touches the tree, it's activated. But in feng shui, light is only half the story. What really moves qi is not light alone. It's light plus intention. In feng shui, the wealth corner, shun area, thrives on dynamic yang energy. Warmth, motion, presence. A kumquat tree placed there absorbs the qi of its surroundings. But if there's no movement, no interaction, it mirrors stillness back. In classical feng shui, the shunguayor wealth corner belongs to the wood element. But wood alone doesn't grow. It needs interaction. It needs fire to rise. It needs movement and light to awaken its potential. So when you bring light to your kumquat tree, that's fire. When you move, touch, whisper, you're activating wood's expansion. This is the dance of the 5 elements. Wood feeds fire. Fire ignites yang qi. Yang qi moves abundance. Without touch, the tree stays passive. With your presence, it becomes a living engine of wealth flow. And here's the science. Quantum coherence studies show that intentional physical contact, like gently wiping an object, can realign its energy field. It's called biofield entrainment. Your energy repatterns the object's subtle field. So when you touch the fruit with attention, it begins to resonate. Not just reflect light, but emit it. Do your fruits shine from the outside or glow from within? Is your wealth corner lit by a lamp or by your attention? In the next part, we'll go deeper into the ritual of presence and why a single whispered phrase, when said with care, can transform a kumquat into a magnet for ease and flow. I had a kumquat tree once. It sat in my living room bright, alive, untouched. One morning, I paused, picked up a soft cloth, and gently wiped a single fruit. As I did, I whispered, I allow money to come easily. I didn't know if it would work, but something shifted. Not in the room, in me. We're told to manifest by writing, by visualizing, but your home is listening too. That fruit, that tree, it doesn't need vision boards. It needs your breath, your presence, your qi. In feng shui, the act of speaking into a space, into a vessel, is part of qi imprinting. It's the moment you take something neutral and infuse it with life force. The kumquat isn't just fruit. It's stored water, stored wood, stored yang. When you speak softly into it, your voice becomes a tuning fork. The space begins to recalibrate, and modern energy studies agree. Whispered words, when combined with touch, shift the resonance field of organic matter. Think of Emoto's water studies. Think of cymatics, the way sound shapes form. When you whisper to the kumquat, you're shaping how money feels in your space. Scientifically, this mirrors what resonant frequency studies show. When you speak with intention near organic matter-like fruit, the molecular structure subtly shifts. Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto found that words plus water equals changed crystal patterns. And kumquats? They're over 85% water. What if that fruit is waiting, not to be picked, but to be spoken to? And what if your space is waiting too, for a moment of soft, sacred presence? A kumquat tree isn't activated by sunlight alone. It awakens through your touch, through the breath of intention, in the quiet ritual of wiping and whispering. You're not just tending to a plant. You're programming wealth into the air itself. And when this becomes daily, when presence becomes practice, something subtle begins to echo. In the next part, we'll explore how this echo expands beyond the fruit, into your finances, your flow, your life. At first, it feels like nothing. You wipe a fruit, you whisper. Then you go on with your day. But after a week, the room feels lighter. You feel clearer. And somehow, money starts arriving without strain. Not all at once, but as if something stopped resisting. We often expect abundance to show up as a big bang, a check in the mail, a job offer, a windfall. But in feng shui, real wealth is the removal of resistance. It's not what enters, it's what no longer gets stuck. In the energetic sciences, this is called entrainment. When you repeat a conscious ritual, your nervous system synchronizes with calm. Your energy field becomes more stable, more open. And in feng shui, a stabilized qi field becomes like a clear river. Money no longer hits rocks, it flows. This is why rituals work. Not because the tree changes, but because you do. Your presence becomes the portal. When was the last time you repeated something simple? Not to get a result, but because it felt right? Can abundance arrive when we stop forcing it? Daily ritual rewires your energy. It clears the clutter you didn't see. It aligns the space around you. So wealth no longer has to fight its way in. And now, let's go deeper, into the heart of it all, the ritual itself. A simple morning moment, with a fruit, a cloth, and a whisper that invites prosperity back home. Before we move into the ritual, I want to ask you something. If you could speak one sentence into a golden fruit that holds your energy, what would you say? Whisper it below in the comments. Not for the algorithm, but for the ritual itself. Because when we write with intention, it's another form of placement. And when others read your words, it ripples. So, what would you whisper into your kumquat today? Most people rush the morning. Coffee, phone, bills. But what if the first thing you touched each day wasn't urgency, but gold? What if your wealth listened to your breath? The ritual, step by step. Step 1. Approach the tree, slowly. Begin by simply walking toward your kumquat tree. No thoughts, no checklist, just arrival. Stop, stand still, breathe. 1 inhale through the nose. 1 slow exhale through the mouth. Feng Shui teaches, Qi awakens with intention before movement. Your calm approach tells the room, I'm ready, let's begin. Energetically, this step opens the heaven Qi, the invisible signal field that aligns energy before action. Step 2. Wipe 1 fruit at a time, like a coin. Pick up a soft cloth, preferably white or light-colored. Reach for a single kumquat. Don't rush. Gently wipe its surface from stem to tip. Why? Because in feng shui, the fruit represents wealth stored in form, and when dust gathers, it symbolically signals neglected prosperity. In the 5-element cycle, the fruit equals wood, and your movement equals fire. When fire touches wood, it activates yang qi, sparking vibrancy in the wealth corner, shungua. Research on tactile entrainment shows that intentional touch can shift an object's vibrational field, especially in organic matter. Step 3. Whisper into the fruit. Bring the fruit close to your mouth. Whisper 1 sentence into it. Some examples. Money comes to me with ease. I am in flow with prosperity. The more I soften, the more I receive. Not loud, not repeated. Just 1 breath, One phrase. Why whisper? Because whispering is chi imprinting, sending low-frequency energy directly into form. From a spiritual lens, you are speaking soul to soul. From a scientific lens, sound vibration restructures water molecules. Kumquats are 85% water, meaning your words physically shift the fruit's resonance. Step 4. Water with awareness. Pour a small amount of water at the base of the tree. While doing so, repeat your whisper silently or aloud. Not as a mantra, but as an anchor. Why water? In fengshui, water is the carrier of wealth, but only when flowing cleanly. And water carries memory. Studies in structured water show that infused intention remains in the molecular bonds. You are feeding the roots not just with moisture, but with coded chi. Imagine if every morning began like this. Not with chaos, but with clarity. Not with chasing, but inviting. What would your wealth feel like if it was touched before it was counted? This ritual is not about magic. It's about alignment, about teaching your nervous system that wealth is safe, that attention matters. And when space is filled with presence, prosperity doesn't need to be summoned. It returns like sunlight on a ripe fruit, quiet, certain, inevitable. So when you finish this ritual tomorrow morning, just pause and say it softly, like a promise whispered to the roots of your space. I touch with presence. I whisper with trust. I allow prosperity to flow, softly, surely, and without resistance. Let this be your gentle code, your golden rhythm, and if it resonates, write it down, or share it in the comments. Not for me, but for you. Because when you speak abundance, and someone else echoes it, that's how chi begins to ripple. There's a moment after the ritual ends. The fruit glistens softly. The cloth rests still. The air feels just a little clearer. And in that space, something old inside you exhales. Not because a miracle happened, but because you showed up differently. You didn't chase abundance today. You invited it. You didn't force the current. You realigned with it. Feng Shui is not decoration. It's dialogue. A way of listening to what your space is trying to say and answering back gently with intention. And the kumquat tree? It doesn't need to shout. It just waits for someone to remember it's alive. So maybe wealth isn't far away. Maybe it's already here, resting on a golden fruit, waiting for your voice to wake it. If this video stirred something inside you, pause for just one more breath and tell me, what will you whisper into your space tomorrow morning? Drop your phrase in the comments, not for validation, but as an anchor, for you, for your space, for your chi. And if you haven't yet, subscribe gently. This is only one tree, but there are more waiting. To speak, to glow, to guide. I place with presence. I release with grace. I invite wealth to return.